Hello, my name is Candace Foxx, and welcome back to STBFO, South Texas Bodybuilding and Fitness Organization. Happy New Year and welcome back. We have a special treat for you guys. We have some New Year, New Me tips, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys started out with, this is finally going to be your year to make it happen, make the change in your life for your health and all those things. And how are you guys doing now this end of the month? Are you still on the bandwagon? Are you still going to your training? Well, if you've fallen off the bandwagon, it's okay. It happens to everybody, you know? It happens to everybody. And, you know, when those things happen, all you do is just dust yourself off and we get back on the bandwagon. Because even me, myself, I wasn't always fit. I messed up several times before I got to the level I wanted to get to. So don't be discouraged, get back on the bandwagon, start back where you fell off the bandwagon, and everything will be cool, because it honestly takes anywhere from a month to 3 months to even 6 months to establish a healthy habit. So don't be so hard on yourself, just go back to eating clean. Everything takes baby steps, so once you take so many baby steps, it actually ends up to big steps where it reaches to your final goals. So just keep strong, and if you need any type of advice or any tips like that, you can always follow my channel, contact me directly, and we can help you out and help you reach your fitness goals. Now, we have a special guest that we're going to talk to. This is Edward Dramberger. Edward is a very special person because he came and did my second show, Clash at the Border, and the reason why he's so special is because Edward lost over 100 pounds. And a lot of people that are in the heavier bracket, they always think that it's not possible ever to lose that much weight and to get on stage and see what they got. But Edward did it, and another even cool thing about Edward was he used to be athletic before. So we're gonna give up this time to talk to Edward and interview him. So please welcome Mr. Dramberger. Thank you for giving me this time to interview you.
Thank you, Candace, for having me.
Yes, sir. So the first question, where are you from and how long have you been athletic?
Well, I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I was raised in Brownsville, Texas. I just moved back from New York to take care of my dad here in Brownsville. I'm a tourism professor and a consultant, so I get on a plane and go across the world and come back. So it's been nice doing that, helping my dad, and also working out. It gives me time to work out.
Mm-hmm. So before you even got into bodybuilding or any of those things, what did you do before? I remember you were saying you did ultra marathon running.
Ultimately, I'm an endurance athlete.
Okay.
So an endurance athlete, I do triathlons, Ironmans. I've done 2 Ironmans, and I've done many 100-milers where you run 100 miles on one side, you walk around 100 miles.
Yes.
I've done marathons. My PR, personal record for marathon, is a 3:11 in Chicago.
Wow.
So, but that was when I was 30 years old.
Yes.
I'm almost 60 now.
Yes,
so the body changes a bit.
So what got you into running? Was it something that you did in school? Or?
I could have been a good, honestly, it's kind of hard for me to say, but I could have been a good athlete in high school, but I wasn't. All my brothers played football, and I didn't want to play football.
Okay.
And I felt bad, so I started running a little bit. And then in college, I just started running.
Okay.
And running was a freedom to me because I'm not good at ball sports.
Okay.
I don't have eye-hand coordination.
Okay.
But I have the determination and drive and the endurance of an endurance athlete.
Okay.
So that's why I chose it.
Oh, okay, nice. I got into running for a short period of time because I wanted to learn how to organize events, you know. So in where my old gym used to be located in Far, there happened to be a 5K going on, right? And I was a bodybuilder before, so there's this, well, it's not common knowledge, but I guess this lie that they say bodybuilders can't run, you know what I'm saying? Never was in sports before, but my mother and my father were track athletes in UTP, you know. Originally my mom was from UTPA, but she came over to UTB, you know. So I guess I had the genetics for it. Well, my first 5K, I was the overall female winner, and they invited me to start organizing 5Ks with them. So that's how I got into that. I did it for about 5 years. almost did my own first half marathon on my own, but you know, being a bodybuilder, we have to retain our muscle. So I couldn't start, once I got to a pro, you know, a pro female fit body, I couldn't go a longer distance than 7 miles. So a half marathon for me was out of the question, you know. And as I progressed in bodybuilding, I had to reduce my running. So it was fun when I did it. I really enjoyed it, and that freedom that you talk about, I totally know what that feels like. It's a very liberating feeling.
It's liberating. For example, you're in Paris. You're up at 6 in the morning. You're running by the Eiffel Tower. You're running by bakeries.
Yes.
The bread is the aroma of the smell of the bread. Everyone's waking up. When you run, you see the world.
Yeah, it's an awesome way to go sightseeing, because I ran up downtown Austin and up in the hill country there too, in San Antonio, Dallas, way out there in Boston and stuff, because getting ready for show, we only do our cardio during that time, right? So then I get back into my running and stuff, you know, to get the cuts on my thighs. So I ran in Los Angeles, in the Topanga Canyons and stuff. It's an amazing thing to be able to be a part of, and to feel and see the earth and smell it. And so I totally understand what you mean.
You use your 5 senses when
exactly.
you run.
Yes. All right, so what made all that change in your life that caused you to stop being active and the weight gain and everything?
Well, in every story in life, there is a conflict. And I was raising money. I was 34, 33. I just finished Marathon des Sables in Morocco, which is a 7-day stage race, which is filmed worldwide. I mean, people, it's national or international show.
Yeah.
But it's 7 days with a backpack, running 30 to 35 miles a day.
Wow.
And you have to have time. There's certain time limits. You can go up till Thursday, and if you don't get the time limit on Thursday, you're out.
Yes.
So I did that. I was feeling really good. So I wanted to raise money. I'm bipolar, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Yes.
I was raising money for bipolar awareness, for mental health, which is very important to me. And I was raising money for that and running from LA to New York 71 days with about 15 other guys. And we were doing about 30 miles a day.
Yes.
And I made it to Vegas. My crew quit on me, and I got just in a funk. My toes were smashed, and I just gave up.
Yeah.
And Candace, it was very hard for me.
Yeah.
Because everything I start, I finish.
Yeah.
Everything I start, I finish.
Yeah.
And I didn't finish it. So I went home with the shame, the walk of shame, as they say.
Yes.
And I ate cakes in one sitting.
Wow.
I ate pies. I gained well over 100 pounds. I was 335 pounds.
Yes.
My largest size. Well, I was in Norway, and I had to put a wetsuit on to go out to the ocean.
There wasn't one your size.
I couldn't put it on either. I was crying, I was humiliated.
Yeah, I bet.
So I said, enough is enough. I'm getting back into it. And I started and I did it.
Yeah, and so like when you started your weight loss, was it directly how you got in touch with your trainer that helped you out? Or you started it off first yourself, yes?
Can I look at the camera?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can have trainers, friends, but ultimately it's you. You have to do it yourself. No one's going to help you. Sure, I mean, friends and coaches will help you, like Candace, but they're not going to tell you to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do that, and you're going to have to visualize yourself, put a picture of yourself on the counter or whatever as you want to look, or buy something, a swimsuit or something, and say, I'm determined to be this way. I'm going to be this way, and do it.
And what he's saying is true, because that's how I changed my whole life to a healthy one also. I took a picture of myself. I said that was it. But for me, it was watching my mom die of cancer. That's what woke me up, and I didn't want to go down the same route. So yeah, you need to visualize what you want your finished goal to be at. You need to buy outfits that are too small for you, so you have that inspiration to get into it. You have to focus super hard, because you have to remember that not everybody's goals are your goals. So your fitness goals are your fitness goals. So you can't blame them on somebody else. Like, oh, because of my husband, I didn't get in shape, or because of my trainer. No, it's ultimately your responsibility to get to those goals. And then once you get there, you got to keep maintaining it and keep it a part of your life. Because unfortunately, and I wish we were, or we could just keep the body like that and just relax. But no, you got to maintain it. So you got to make fitness a part of your life. And this is why I wanted to talk to Edward, because he's been on both sides of the coin. He knows what it's like to be like a crazy endurance athlete, and then to lose it all, and then to come back strong. So on your own, how much weight did you lose before you got with your trainer for bodybuilding?
I lost 100 pounds.
100 pounds on your own.
100 pounds on my own.
And what made you decide that you wanted to do a bodybuilding show, which is totally different from endurance?
I did the triathlons. I swam. I did golf, whatever. That's not really a sport. But I wanted to challenge myself. I challenge myself in everything I do. And I said, you know what? I used to make fun of bodybuilders.
Yes.
And when they would do cardio, they would say, oh, I'm going for a mile or two.
Yeah.
And that's like a stroll. But you know what? Lifting weights every day, that's dedication.
Oh,
discipline.
yeah.
And I had that. And I said, you know what? Candace, I'll be 60 this year. Mm-hmm. I was on stage last year at 59 years old. Yeah. 58 years old. And that took a lot of guts. Mm-hmm. And I did it.
Yes.
And I've learned, and I keep learning. I'm more, as an endurance athlete, I'm more on the thin side. I got to bulk up.
Yes.
And that's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I can see my definition, but I still have to bulk up. But I'm competing now against other 60-year-olds in Masters. Yes. Which helps me.
Yes. So you love bodybuilding now?
I love bodybuilding.
And along with your running and all that stuff too?
I love that too.
Yeah, I wasn't a bodybuilder. Like, I wasn't in sports at all. Bodybuilding came to me later on. But I absolutely love the dedication it requires, the structure and all those things. And I was able to achieve the body I always wanted. And I'm pretty much happy with it. I mean, a lot of people, it's not for them. You find your own vice when it comes to health. You don't have to get into bodybuilding like we did. I mean, he was a marathoner before, but in any type of healthy lifestyle or sport you get into, you just got to take care of yourself as well and not go to that extreme where you end up hurting yourself and stuff. You got to keep it maintained.
Yeah, and diet is so important. As I said, I used to eat big cakes in one sitting when I was fat. Ladies and gentlemen, food is fuel for your body, and you have to use it, treat it like fuel only. You can't abuse it like anything, drugs, alcohol, you can't abuse it. Because
once you have that emotional connection, that's what gives you that high, and that's how they get addicted. Correct. They use it to make themselves feel better, and I think that's harder than any drug, because it's something you need is food. Yeah. So to be able to separate that idea from people's things of that emotional connection to cake, and no, cake is not a good source of fuel. You need to eat this it takes a little while, but once they start getting it, and then they start getting their mind connected to their body and they're seeing the results, then that's my favorite part of the whole coaching athletes and stuff like that, So how long, when you got your trainer finally for the bodybuilding part, how long did the whole process take to get ready for the bodybuilding show?
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months, yeah.
And you went through a bulking period with him and then a shredding?
Bulking and then shredding, and it's all new to me. It's all new to me.
And that's honestly what we have to go through every year. Like, if you're going to keep on going with your bodybuilding career and stuff like that, because you want to keep on gaining that muscle, you get shredded during contest season and then you bulk up during your off season. And the best results I ever saw was when I would bulk up 6 months or more.
Yeah. As a speaker, I'm on stage all the time. I do TV. But when you're on stage there,
and your little tiny little
posing pose,
yes,
people are just staring at you.
Yes, everything.
And it's very intimidating. But you know what? If I always say this in any sport or anything, as a professor studying something, you earn the right to be on stage. I've earned the right to be on stage because I've woken up at 4 in the morning. I wake up at 5 in the morning to go train when I didn't want to train. I did it.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
Oh yeah. And then you start seeing, once your body gets used to it, how people oh no, that's too overwhelming. That's taking too much time for me. Actually, it's not. When you actually structure your time and you get used to it, you see actually now you have more hours in the day to do stuff because you get up early.
You do.
You know, and I've been in the personal training business for so long that even if it's on my off days, like clockwork, I'm up at 4. Yeah. And even if I'm up at 4 on the weekends, man, I'm doing stuff in my garden, I'm cleaning, all that. So by the time it gets to night, I don't have anything else to do but just chill.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody else, they think that's like, oh no, that's too overwhelming. I'm like, no, that's time efficiency.
That's time efficiency.
And then you're not worried about later, like, oh, I got to do all this stuff, whatever. You already did it because you used those extra hours because you're awake.
That's true.
Instead of wasting. And then we're not nocturnal beings. We are meant to be awake.
Yeah.
You know, but I can tell you one thing. I used to work in the nightclub industry, and I prefer this lifestyle way more than I did when I was in the nightclub industry, for sure, you know. And then plus people who work in the night industry or are in any type of night employment, it does shorten their life period. So if you do work at night, try to make sure during the day you get out in the sun and stuff like that, because we all do need at least 15 minutes of the good old vitamin D, which also strengthens your bones. So make sure you guys are doing that, those that have to work in the middle of the night and stuff like that. All right, so how did you feel when you competed in your first show?
I wasn't ready.
Okay. Were you scared?
I was scared, not to be on stage, because I'm very comfortable on stage in front of the camera. But for that particular thing, yes, I was nervous, but I did it as a practice run.
Yes.
For Austin and San Antonio for transformation.
Yes.
And, you know, I did the best I could.
Yeah, I mean, you're learning.
Yeah, I'm learning.
You're learning. And then we all start off, I mean, I'll show you some of my old posing, and I wasn't posing like all bad, you know, like Miss Pro figure, like the way my rest of my pictures. Sure. So you're always learning every year. And even me as well, I'm a retired pro now, but as a pro, every time I would get on stage, Edward, right when that curtain was there and the huge pro shows, the championship, I was scared. Scared as fuck too. Scared, you know, but I always started focusing on my head. How am I going to pose? Which way am I turning on the stage? Which side? So I would get rid of those butterflies in my stomach. But it's a feeling you'll always get no matter how you keep on going. And the bigger show, then it's more intimidating, but you got there, you got your business to do. You got to take care of business. So at my show, you got first for your categories, right? For transformation. Now, what were the other awards you got for the rest of the year? Because you did what, 3 other shows?
2 other shows.
2 other shows.
Okay. I did Alamo Showdown
with Naturally Fit Federation.
And I did the other one in Austin. I forget the name of it. But I got first in Austin for transformation. I got second in my division for bodybuilding.
Yes.
And I got third place in San Antonio for bodybuilding, but they had a 35-year-old
against you.
Come on. You know, 30, that's almost 30 years. He could be my son.
Yeah.
You know, he could be my son. So it's not fair.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot. I've met a lot of great people. And I learned, you learn backstage what to do, what not to do, and everything from tanning to posing, to working out, to choosing what you're going to wear, all that stuff.
Yeah, and the cool thing about competing at Naturally Fit Federation, he had to go through a lie detector test just to compete with them, and then being placed there, he had to take a piss test. So this shows you that you can be 60 plus and still gain muscle and still compete against the youngsters out there without any extracurricular stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't need all those extra stuff, you know, you can do it completely natural, you know, and he's continuing on with his bodybuilding, you know, who knows, a career maybe, you know, so he seems to like it.
As an old man.
He seems to like it. All right, so, so we already talked about your bodybuilding future. Okay, so what would you like to tell people who were athletic, fell off the bandwagon like you did, and that they need to lose 100 pounds? What advice would you give those people?
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have a goal. Everyone has a goal, but it must be realistic in anything, in your career, in training, athletics, anything you do. It must be realistic. And you have to be visual. You have to see yourself running across that finishing line, getting on stage with a posing suit or trunks or whatever, and showing off how hard you worked. You have to visualize yourself, and you have to take baby steps as far as your dieting. If you want to lose 100 pounds, if you've gained all this weight, and you're doing your New Year's resolution, let's say right now, and you're off the bandwagon, you got to get back on it, and you got to be determined and focused, because you have two choices. You could die and give up. And if you give up, what sense is that? You know, if you are given a God-given body, but it's just overweight, like say a pro football player turned heavy, and now he or she cannot lose the weight, that's his fault. He has to be focused and determined. I told you earlier in the show that I did not finish. I finished everything I start, and I did not finish this run across America from LA to New York. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when things change with my father, I'm doing it. And it's gonna take me 6 months. I'm gonna do 20 miles a day, but I'm doing it. And I'm raising money for charity, for mental health. So I'm not gonna finish this earth without finishing everything I start, I finish in my goal. And you can do that too, and I wish you all the success in the world.
Awesome, and yes, like Edward said, all you gotta do is stay focused. And it's hard work. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. It took me about 6 months to get through all the bad information, all the misinformation when it came to getting in shape. But once I understood the three, and I call it the three amigos, 80% is your food, lifting weights, cardio. You need all three in order to reach the body you want. Once I understood that, and then the eating was eating clean, as natural as possible, I got shredded in 4 months and got the dream body I've always wanted. Now here we are 15 years later, I'm in almost my mid-40s and I'm still maintaining my body the way I want. I feel great. A lot of these 20-year-olds think I'm close to their age. They have no idea how old I am, so it is the fountain of youth, you know? We are machines. We are made to move. So take care of your body just like you take care of your big old trucks and your hot rods and all that stuff. You take those vehicles to go get their oil changes and all their stuff. It's the same thing you need to do for your body, you know? So just keep that in your mind. If you mess up, it's okay. Don't give up. Just dust yourself off, start back over. We also want to thank Gold's Gym Brownsville for allowing us to use their place. Come and check out Gold's Gym whenever you have a chance. Come and check out their great machines. It's a really nice gym in here. And then they have their local celebrity here, Edward, and you could come and talk to him about his transformation, and he could give you some advice and tips, because a lot of people seem to gravitate to people that are kind of like them. And when you can see someone in front of your view that was like you before and they did it, it'll inspire you to do your best. So again, Happy New Year. Thank you, Edward, for letting me interview you. And we'll be soon having our next STBFO podcast. Thank you very much for your time.